Hey, welcome. Have you ever just stopped and wondered how a giant construction crane can lift these massive steel beams like they're nothing? Or maybe a bit closer to home, how your car brakes can stop a 2-ton vehicle with just a little bit of pressure from your foot? Well, the answer to both of those questions lies in one of the most powerful and, honestly, elegant principles in all of physics: hydraulics. So let me ask you this. Just picture it, a whole car sitting right there on a platform. And next to it, there's a little button, a tiny lever you can push with just one finger. How in the world is it possible that your small, simple push can create enough force to lift thousands of pounds straight up into the air? It sounds impossible, right? Like some kind of magic trick?
But it's not magic. No, it's hydraulics. It's a field of science that lets us multiply force in ways that seem almost unbelievable. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how it works, piece by piece, so you can see the science behind the magic.
All right, so let's tackle that first big question. How is it even possible? Let's get right into the science behind lifting a car with just a tiny bit of effort. The secret here is that you're not creating force out of thin air. That's a big no-no in physics. Instead, you're taking a small, totally manageable force that you can create, and you're using this really clever system to amplify it, to multiply it, turning a simple push into this incredibly powerful lift. So what's the secret ingredient? What's the magic sauce that makes it all work? Well, it all comes down to a scientific law figured out way back in the 17th century by a guy named Blaise Pascal. And this one rule, it's the foundation for everything we're talking about. And, the law itself is actually pretty simple to grasp. I want you to imagine you're squeezing a water balloon that's completely sealed. The pressure you're applying with your fingers, it's not just felt right where you're pushing. It spreads out instantly and evenly to every single part of that balloon. That, right there, is Pascal's law in action. Now, to really get this, we have to talk about pressure. See, pressure isn't just force. It's force that's concentrated over a certain area. Think about it like this. A thumbtack goes into a wall so easily because all the force from your thumb is focused on that one tiny sharp point. That creates a ton of pressure. And Pascal's law is all about playing with this idea. But here's the thing. Pascal's law has a very specific requirement. It doesn't work with just anything. It only works with a special kind of substance, a fluid. So what exactly is a fluid, and why is it the perfect thing for this job? Well, think about a solid, like a block of wood. It holds its shape, right? If you push on its side, it pushes back. It resists. But a fluid, like water or oil, it can't really resist that kind of push. It just flows. It takes the shape of whatever container it's in. And this ability to flow is exactly what lets it transmit pressure so perfectly. Now, for hydraulics, there is one property that is the absolute superstar of the show: incompressibility. This basically means you can't really squash the fluid to make it smaller. So when you push on it, it doesn't just absorb the energy like a sponge would. No, instead, it transmits that push perfectly and instantly all the way through. This is the key. Okay, so let's recap. We have our main principle, that's Pascal's law, and we have our perfect medium, an incompressible fluid. We now have all the clues we need to solve the mystery. Let's look at the math that makes the magic happen. This slide lays it all out beautifully. First, you apply a little bit of force on a small area. Let's call it a small piston. This creates pressure inside our fluid. And because that fluid is trapped and can't be compressed, that exact same pressure is sent everywhere. And here's where it all comes together. When that same pressure pushes against a much, much larger area on the other side, it creates a much, much larger force. And here it is, the aha moment in one simple, elegant equation. The pressure on the first piston, that's force 1 divided by area 1, has to be equal to the pressure on the second piston, force 2 over area 2. So just think about it. If the second area is, say, 100 times bigger than the first area, then the second force has to be 100 times bigger than your first force just to keep the equation balanced. That right there is your force multiplication. It's that simple. So this isn't just some cool thought experiment from a physics textbook. This principle is a workhorse. It's a cornerstone of our modern world. In fact, you interact with hydraulic systems all the time, probably without even realizing it. Yeah, seriously. Every single time you step on the brake pedal in your car, you are using hydraulics. Your foot applies a small force, that force gets transmitted through the brake fluid, and it creates a massive clamping force on your wheels to stop you. It's in the jack that lifts your car for a tire change, it's in the powerful arms of an excavator, and it's even in the landing gear of an airplane. Pascal's law is absolutely everywhere. So the crucial point, the big takeaway, is this. Just by understanding the simple relationship between force, pressure, and area, and by using the unique properties of fluids, we can build systems that let a small, simple human action control and move these enormous loads with incredible precision and safety. It's like giving ourselves superpowers through science.
But that brings us to one last, really fascinating question. Physics has a golden rule, right? You can't get something for nothing. There's no free lunch. So if we're getting this huge, incredible multiplication in force, what are we giving up in return? What's the trade-off? What's the hidden cost? That's definitely something to think about, and maybe a topic for another day. Thanks for joining me on this one.